Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel. And for those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Catherine and I tell true stories and facts. Today I'm going to tell you about why I think the Russian guy was so successful in luring so many Kenyan women. Not only Kenya, African women in general. His name is, I think by now everybody should be knowing him in the world. Yaslov something. I'll just call him Yaslov. Whatever his name is, because I don't like him. He's a soldier who decided to experiment. Not only experiment, but decided to spread the virus, HIV. This is a psychopath generally. So, the reason why so many African women were lured, first of all, is because of colonization. They tend to believe that the white skin is better than the black Africans. That is the mentality that the colonials put into the African people. And most of them have stuck to it. Even they don't like their own names. For example, in high school, almost the whole class of 41 students, not even 41, there were 3 streams. So approximately 40 times 3, approximately 120 girls in one stream were all wishing to get married to a white man. They will even start calling themselves an imaginary name of a white man that they will hope to marry. For example, Mary Brown, Anne Gray. You'll find themselves imagining they're being called that, Millicent Black, Ironstone, and like Mrs. Wambundu, Mrs. Okage, Mrs. Ofweneke, Mrs. Oba, Mrs. Olugoshen. They want like their names to sound so nice, and colorism also is included in this. Like they would describe their kids, so I want my kids to be chocolate, a mixture of black and white, things like that. And also the social media has really confused them, because you see, like most of these YouTube channels that feature families that are mixed tend to get more views than those that feature families that are not mixed. For example, if you remember the divorced Nikki Thought, a Sudanese who lives in Australia, married to an Australian man before they divorced. It really has so many viewers, and people really love to watch the black and white, the Mama Jimmy. This is now the typical Kenyan family of a Luya woman married to an American guy. And now when the Kenyan women watch this, they're like, oh my God, they fantasize. Like, wow, if Mama Jimmy, a typical Luya, can get a Muzungu, why not me? Like, things like that. This Russian guy actually never, discriminated anyone. He picked on any woman regardless of whether they're married, whether they're in church. This is a monster, a psychopath generally. And the Kenyan women will think, oh my God, luck has fallen on me. Even the ones who look so innocent. It's a very sorry state. Like one of them has cooked for him sausages, like she's trying to prove that she will be a very good wife. So she knocks on his door and she brings him sausages in a very polite, hey, I have made for you some sausages. Have some sausages. Another one washing dishes. This is a cruel man and wicked. All along, all of them are thinking that they are the only ones. One funny and strange thing is that they jumped into bed on the same day he met them. You don't know somebody and you go to his house and even sleep there, forgetting that Europe has more serial killers than Africa. They specialize in killing blondes, killing blue eyes, killing green eyes, just psychopaths. But the Kenyan women, even after the Nigerian incidences of being of organ harvesting, Airbnb organ harvesters, they're still not scared. Just because this guy has a pink skin, or is it white skin? And he has a bit of muscles and wow, stranger than fiction. Even married women, a whole mother with a kid, ameangukia mzungu, not knowing the reality of what these people married to wazungus go through. They think marrying a mzungu is just all fantasy. It's all heaven or whatever it is. A honeymoon throughout their marriage. It is just the skin that is different, my friends. It is the skin. And maybe even the Africans are better because of their culture. These white people have their own weird cultures, man. You will not be surprised when he brings like 3 women to come and share him, and they call it a marriage. They call it a fantasy, fetish stuff, And the African women want to go and marry them. I'm not saying all of them are like this, but do not expect like you're married to a Mzungu, so things are gonna be good. These people can harm a women just like any other man can do. A violent man is a violent man, whether in a white skin or a black skin. Yet Kenyan women view them as, whoa. There is a story of one lady who was working in a foreign country and was so excited that she's finally going to meet the parents of the white American guy that she was gonna marry. Yes, they went to the States. And you know what she saw? The guy lived in a street, I don't know whether it's called Pennsylvania, where the whole street is full of drug addicts, walking zombies. She couldn't believe it. When they see a white man, they just think it's money. And that's the problem. They are marrying for money. And so, since they think this person is from Europe, from a first world, then the person must be having money. They are poor Europeans. There are those who are sleeping on streets. They're camping on the streets. They're sleeping in their cars. So don't think that any white man, you've hit a jackpot. No, that's not the case. That's the mentality of most African ladies. To be seen with a white man, even if he's so old, barely moving, so long as he's white. You'll see on the beaches of Africa, very young girls being held, walking hand in hand with a very great-grand, maybe even great-grandparent of their own. But he's white. He's white. I don't know whether it's the dollars. Now, why do you want to go to Russia, by the way? Russia. A war-torn country. Going to Russia is as good as going to Syria now. What do you want to go and do in Russia? Gosh, take me to Russia now. Take me to, gosh. And they get so excited that their real selves come out. Like the one who's drinking, wallowing, galloping alcohol, all 2 bottles of spirits. One over here, another one over here. And she's saying, the only thing that is remaining now is weed. Give me my weed. Trying to fit into the white guy's categories because she has seen that he loves alcohol. So she's trying to prove to him that she's bad news with alcohol. And selectively, he picked the women. One funny thing about the European people is you will notice the stereotype. They like dark women, dark, thin Africans. The darker, the better for them. But this guy was picking and selectively. It's like he's been sent to mess up the African generation by spreading the HIV virus. Now that I hear that the ARVs or whatever are no longer being given for free or something of the sort, I don't know. So the guy is on a mission to mess up. He's like a coronavirus generally. But one funny thing is, the women were just agreeing to sleep with him because he's white. Goodness. I mean, put a black guy in the same situation, walking around, he will not even have 1 second to speak because he's an African like them. But this is because he's white. Another one is on the way to church or from church. But I think she was going to church. Then suddenly she stops and she's like, in fact, let us go. Let us go. I have nothing to do. Let us go where you're going. I will show you. She suddenly becomes a tour guide. And she's wearing a dress. And people say that if you're wearing a dress, you're decent. She proved it wrong. Akitenge, mazi. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had even met somebody in a full African outfit, even up to the headscarf, and he will manage to put her to bed. I will not be surprised. So Africa, tuache hii mambo ya kukoloniziwa. Let's stop being colonized. This colonization mentality of white is better than black. Mumejionea wenyewe. Guys are taking advantage of this because of that mentality. Why didn't he decide to go to Italy, for example, and carry out the same experiment? Go to US and carry out the same experiment, maybe to the black Americans? He just chose Africa, Uganda, Ghana, Kenya, and he was very happy with Kenya because Kenyans want to be Mrs. Gray, Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Washington. If you like my content, like, share, and subscribe. Ciao.